Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Brian Keith here. On today's episode, we're gonna have a little thing of heat. Because it's July. We know it's still summertime, it's hot outside. But we know winter's coming around the corner, right? It's not that far away, and the way time is flying, it's already ticking and getting close. So stick with me, and we'll go through what I got here behind me and what I'm doing to be prepared. Alright guys, what I am doing for my heating situation is, like I've discussed on a previous video, I do have a project coming up that I want to do for heat. One of them is going to be building a little tent stove out of sheet metal, and I do have some pretty good decent sheet metal that I want to use. The sheet metal is from an old dryer, and so for some of you that know or have old dryers, you know that those dryers are pretty heavy, and if you feel the gauge of the metal of those, the metal on those things are actually pretty thick, and they are made of actual steel. So no, those aren't made to heat an entire home, but if you had to use it for an emergency heat, like a tent stove, or even just to heat a single room and doing a small fire inside the stove, it's doable, and it would be still safe as long as you keep the temperatures below 500-600 degrees. I mean, if you most of the time, if you get a stove really roaring hot, that stove's going to easily reach red hot, which could be between 500 and 700 degrees. So you want to try to keep it down relatively between 3 and 500 degrees. So for those that have wood stoves, you know what I'm talking about. Now whenever I do get a wood stove, whether it's a one I built or one that I'm gonna buy, and I'm gonna be looking for a good decent used one, which they are around, but they are hard to find, and usually you got to pick them up pretty quick. So the one I'm looking at right now is about a couple $100. It's on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. It's here in our area from some folks around here in our city. They're renovating their home, from what I can tell on their page, on their Facebook page, so they're getting rid of 2 different wood stoves they have, and one actually looks pretty decent, pretty good shape. So I haven't contacted them yet, and it's still available. It's been listed for the last, oh geez, 4 or 5 weeks. Nobody's picked it up yet, so if it's still there when I get a little bit more cash, I might go pick that thing up. So now the place I'm going to put mine is probably right here, is this window that you see behind me. Because any stove that can be put here, I can put tile or cement. Fiberglass blanket can work too, because fiberglass will not catch fiber. And then put some sheet metal or something in the back wall to keep it protected from the drywall. You know, the drywall is naturally going to get warm anyways, but something in front of it covering it would keep the embers from getting to it. So, and it would be able to go up out the window and then angle again 90 degrees and go straight up and pipe out the house. So this is where I'm going to put my tent stove too. If I have to use it for an emergency, if I got to resort to that, it's going to be right here is where I plan it. I've already got the fiberglass blankets. I've already got the extra sheet metal to cover the back of the wall. So, and the actual piping I'm going to use for the tent stove that I'm going to make, I've already working on a design that I want to do, and the pipe I will be using will be 4-inch piping. So 4-inch. It's going to be the double wall pipe, and yes, I know it's probably not the greatest. The inner piping lining on it is I believe it's aluminum or steel, and then the outer piping is galvanized. Now galvanized is okay to use as long as you don't overheat it or get it too hot, because then it will put off metals. So for those that are going to lecture me in the comment section, trust me, I used to work with and install HVAC equipment, so I know about temperatures and certain metals, and I've done a lot of my research, and I've handled the equipment myself in the past. So, and besides, if I'm suffering and it's 20 degrees in my house, I'm not going to care at that point in time if, oh well gee, I better not use it because it's galvanized. I'm going to roar a fire, at least to get some kind of a little fire going. So, but before I have to resort to necessarily that, these are the heaters that I've picked up. This is the only one that I did not buy on Facebook Marketplace. This was purchased brand new. I bought this from Walmart last year. It's never been used, but I think maybe one time, and we used it during Halloween. We were sitting on the porch outside handing out candy, and we had this thing beside us, and this thing puts out heat, even right out in the middle of the open and nothing around you. This thing gets nice and warm and toasty. So I do like this buddy heater. I believe it still has a cylinder in it right now, looks like. So if I remember right. Oh, yeah. It might be out, so you can see the little flame down there. Maybe it's the fan. Might be because it's out of fluid here, so. But this is where you normally put your little tanks. So let's pull this off, and I don't know. It's got some in it, so that's a little interesting. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, because I just got this last year and used it one time, so. I know it's still under warranty too with Walmart. I've got one of those extended plans on it, so. Gee. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. Let's find out. Let's push it and hold it. There we go. That one's on. I had to push it down and hold it. Let a little gas out and then push it back down real quick. Now we got a little light down there. Now you got a little flame, if you guys can see. Now with these, you do have to hold it for at least 15 to 30 seconds and let that little flame get that little thermistor in there hot. It's just like a hot water tank by doing that. Now I should, yep, there we go. Now if you guys see, there is a little flame in there. Now these are safe to run indoors. These buddy heaters are safe. They even have extra sensors on them to shut off in case there was not enough oxygen. So these are actually really nice. And these things really aren't cheap either. Let's go ahead and turn it on low. There we go. Obviously I have my AC going and my fan, so let's go ahead and shut this off. While that's heating up, you guys are watching it behind me. There we go. Now I got my fan and the AC off. So now it is heating up. Right now it is currently on low. Let's turn off the light. And now that you see that as the light is off, you can actually see a nice glow. It's a pretty good glow, and that's just on low. And oh yeah, there's some pretty good heat coming out, at least the top. Let's fire this baby on high. Oh yeah, there's high. So as you guys can tell, these little buddy heaters put out some pretty good heat. I mean, even this outside with this, like in your tent, this thing can crank out some heat. Now it does go through fuel pretty quick, especially on high. It's only lasts a matter of hours. So, but on low, this can last quite a while. So, I do recommend, if you guys can and afford it, to buy one of these. Even for me, being a poor person, this was an investment, but I think this was a good investment as long as you take care of it. And oh yeah, that's got some good heat. I thought I took this little propane tank out of here before I put it back in the box, but apparently I didn't. But that won't hurt it. So these little green tanks are usually pretty clean. You know, the fuel that's coming out, usually you don't have to have a little fuel filter on it, though you can if you want. Now the next thing I picked up is this. This is an old catalytic Coleman heater. This thing is from like 1960 something. Now when I first picked this up, it was on Facebook Marketplace. Of course, you guys know me and shopping there. I picked this up actually for about 15 or 20 bucks. Now this thing was pretty wrecked up. When I first got it, it had dings and dents. So, oh, that came out a little open. Even when I took this out, I had to take this whole thing off. In fact, I took this whole thing apart. This had some dings and dents in it, and I got the dings out. As you can tell, it's a nice round dome. Now this catalytic converter right here acts the same way as this type of catalytic converter, even though that's different material, but these two work the same. This glows red. Now inside of there is just a basic wick that's going from here down into the tank of kerosene. Now in this particular catalytic converter, there is no valve to adjust the heat. It's just one heat setting. Once you turn it on, you let it fire up, then you wait, it gets hot. Then whenever you're done with this, you take this right here and just put it on and extinguish it out. Give it a little bit of time and it goes out. Now these things actually right here are old as hell, but these things are really nice to have. These things are classic American made, and this thing is, oh my gosh, 1960 something. It's what, 60 years old, and this thing still works like a champ. I've already taken the wick out. I cleaned it out real good. I even used carb cleaner, scrubbed it with an old toothbrush, not the one I use. So yeah, but now the wick inside is just damn near close to a brand new wick. This thing is ready to go. I've already tried it out once and let it burn for a few hours one night after I did all the repairs. This thing cranks out some heat too. So if you guys can find these, you know how to get one, or you can find one that's already good to go. Get one of these, get some good 5 or 10 gallon tanks of that Coleman white gas fuel. That stuff will last you forever. I've had a gallon of Coleman fuel before, years back. I had it for 5 to 10 years. Thought it might not be good. Used it. Shit still worked just fine. So that Coleman gas stuff works like a champ. Now we got, last but not least, I picked this up also on Facebook Marketplace. Kerosene heater right here. This one I believe is a 10,000 BTU. This particular heater is the type that has the glass. So as you can see, when I push this little igniter button, I got to be careful because there are batteries in the back that will try to ignite it, although there is no fuel, but I don't want to burn the wick. Because this one I've already taken it out too and cleaned the wick, I believe. If not, I can always do it. Cleaning these wicks on these things is really not that hard. So it's actually quite easy to maintain the wicks. Oh yeah. Now actually cranking this up and looking at the wick, if you guys could see it, which you guys are back there, but you can't. The wick on this is pretty good looking too. These kerosene heaters, even my great-grandparents used to have these and run these in the house. Obviously they lived till they were 80s or 90s and then died, but it wasn't kerosene that killed them, so I'm not worried about burning a kerosene inside too if I have to for emergency heat. I'll do what I have to do for my family. Now this kerosene heater I just picked up today, 20 bucks off Facebook Marketplace. Now with this one, the current problem is with this is the wick. So if you guys can look and see that wick, it's pretty bad on the top. So I will be making cleaning this real good tomorrow. More than likely I'm going to trim this off here at the top very carefully, try not to trim too much. And a lot of this should still be able to reach the bottom of that without having to worry about buying a new wick. Though I did find one already on eBay for 20 some bucks, which I may pick it up just as a spare. But otherwise, whoever had this last that I got it from, they burnt the shit out of it. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but that can easily be fixed. Just trimming this off up here, it's about 1/4 of an inch. So just this 1/4 of an inch top. It's all hard and crunchy and it's breaking and cracking. So, but everything else below it, below that 1/4 of an inch, is still soft. So that will still be okay. Now if this was all bad, then just replace the whole wick. Don't take a chance. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. This is what I'm doing for my heat needs, and also, like I said before, I'm gonna do a project video of building a little tent stove. And when that comes, more than likely it'll probably be in the next few weeks or a month or so. I don't really have plans when. I'm always such a busy person, even trying to take care of my wife that's disabled. So technically I am a full-time guardian and caregiver for her, so I'm a pretty damn busy person. So, and she knows I like to make YouTube videos and try to help other people out there, give them ideas, and sometimes you people out there, which I appreciate your comments, you guys give me ideas, so it's a win-win. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed my little spiel on different heater ideas. Maybe give you an idea of what you're doing. I'm sure some of you, or most of you, probably already have a buddy heater, or even a kerosene heater at home. But maybe some people, and I noticed most people, don't really think about the Coleman. And a lot of us already have Coleman products at home that are the old lamps, you know, the old camp lanterns. that use white gas. So I know I've got 4 of them already put away, 3 or 4. So I've already got stacks and stacks and stacks of Coleman white gas fuel. So I'm pretty prepared, and I'm probably good to go on Coleman fuel for quite a while. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching. Leave me a like, give me a comment. Tell me what you're doing for heat for this winter. So, alright guys, again, thank you for watching. Hello, and welcome to another episode of You Democrats Can Suck My...